Good morning, good morning, good morning, Soul Tribe family. Happy Sunday. Today is Self-Care Sunday. I'm up here having my coffee. Just sitting out here on my balcony like I always do. Having my coffee in one of my favorite mugs. So very grateful. You know, I was thinking about relationships. And you know, the very first relationship that we all have is with our mothers. You know, with we as women, our relationship with our mothers, I believe, shapes a lot of things within our life. A lot of the things that we tend to look at and kind of go through. You know, when I think about my mom, I understand she did the best she could. But my mother was always someone who was, to me, a person who always had to be in control. She was a control freak. Not just that, she also, to me, was a bully. My mother was a bully. And I say that because I see the way that she used to intimidate people. Not just people, but she intimidated us. I was terrified of my mother. Even when I was young and married, I was terrified of my mother. Yeah. Excuse me. I'll never forget when I was married to my very first husband. He used to always say to me, why are you listening to your mother when we married? I'm like, oh, she's my mom. And I didn't dare tell her I was scared of her. Yeah, that was an unhealthy fear that was created in me. My mother was the one who created anxiety in me. I felt like everything that I did in my life was never right. You know? I would watch my mother literally commend other people's kids and never once say anything really good to me. Never affirmed me. And that created a lot of issues within me. These allergies is acting up today. It's so nice and cool out here today. But yeah, our relationships with our mother a lot of times shapes how we sometimes view relationships with women, how we don't trust other young girls, other women. That creates that narrative. And it also creates sometimes a narrative where we think we're never good enough. You know, I realized that through my journey of healing, why I did a lot of the things I did. I didn't keep women as friends at all because I felt that I couldn't trust women because of the pattern of behaviors that would happen to me. Like growing up, I remember, you know, because we were Jehovah's Witnesses, okay? And I remember just like any other child, I wanted to date. I liked boys. And I'll never forget that there was this one time that I was dating. You know, I used to secretly date boys. And because one of the girls got into trouble that was friends with me, she decides to coerce everybody else to tell on me because my father was like a elder, which is kind of like a pastor to a church. My stepdad was one of them. He was an elder. And so, yeah, they would tell my secrets all the time because they got in trouble. There was always something, you know, young girls was always doing to me all the time, whether it was teasing me, things of that nature. I ain't care because at the end of the day, I pretty much learned to be kind of like more of a loner. Plus, not just that, my mother was one, she didn't really let us socialize outside of the family. Even sometimes, even within our family, my mother didn't let us socialize with certain people, especially those who weren't Jehovah's Witnesses. As if those kids was any better because most of us was doing shit. Sneaking and doing shit because we were kids. Kids do things because they're looking to be a like or validation from other kids. But yeah, like I said, my relationship with my mother was very toxic. I was, like I said, well into like my 30s. Yeah, to my early 30s, I was still fearful of my mother. Even like in my second marriage too. And then what I started to do was I got tired of that shit. I started to speak up for myself. But I think the biggest breakthrough I ever had was when I left my second husband and I stayed with my mother for a while. My mother and my stepdad for a while. And I'll never forget telling her that no matter what I did, it was never good enough for you. You never ever said anything good about me. And I told her, I said, and I know why. I said, it's because I know you hated my father. And I looked like my father. And you always used to make comments about the way I would sometimes just be looking a certain way. And then you would say, stop looking at me like that. With them, what she used to say, them snake eyes like your father. It's not my fault that you decided to marry my father. But yeah, I know a lot of women have issues behind their relationships with their mother. I think what healed the relationship with my mother as well is when I decided to leave that religion in my mid-40s. Yeah, I was 44 when I left that religion. It took me a long time to make a decision that my life was mine. And it was at that time that I started to seek other things that really resonated with me. I'm into a lot of different things that a lot of people are not. And that's my choice, because why? I know how God speaks to me. And so because of those things, I remember her telling me, she sent me an email and said that she was not going to speak to me any longer because I'm into, astrology and all those type of things. And I told her, I said, well, okay, that's fine. So you know what I did? I added to her email some of my siblings, and I ripped into her and told her how much of a horrible parent she was. I told my mother, I said, you claim to be so spiritual, but you're a religious person. You always been in the space of not really walking as a spiritual person. I said, the way you gossip about people, you're a bully. Even to this day, I told her that. I said, you're a bully. I said, and not just that, I said, you don't set a proper example. I said, you wanted us to go and knock on people's doors, but yet you would be out somewhere shopping and having a good time. It was always that do as I say, not as I do. And then I told her, I said, you also knew about me being molested as a kid. And I remember the day that you removed me from our aunt's house because you knew y'all was whispering about, and I never came back there. Oh yeah, I ripped into her. And just like I even had exposed my older sister's molestation as well, I shared that too. I said, you knew she was too. I said, you never did anything to help us, and my mother and I didn't speak for 6 to 9 months. The fondest relationship that I have is with my second oldest sister. My second oldest sister is the nurturer. She was the one that, when we got in trouble, we would cry to her. We would run to her. We call her Nene. My sister Janine, we call her Nene. And she was my nurturer. She was actually my mother. That's how I feel. Because why? She always nurtured me. She gave me the love that I needed. So God placed certain people in my life for a reason. my big sister, she's like my mama to me. So when I have I have weighty decisions or things that I really need good understanding on, I still will go to my sister. She was like the nurturer for us all. And it's funny because when I look at my relationship with the relationship between my mom and her, now they used to vacation a lot, but over time their relationship really got to be off. Because my mom, I think, really wanted to emulate my sister. And I think my mom was a little jealous of my sister. Mothers do get jealous of their children. Even so much so that she even bought the same wedding ring set that my sister's husband bought her for her anniversary. That's wild, y'all. I'm telling you, mothers do display toxic ass things, and we learn that from our moms. You know, I'm grateful that after I spoke my truth to my mother, after that 6 to 9 months, she came back to me during that time, and someone had died. And she said to me, you know, she told me about the death. She had texted me because she had blocked me and everything. I didn't care. And she came back and she said, listen, so-and-so died. And she said, I really, she said, I apologize. I just want to respect everybody's beliefs. I said, thank you. I said, because I respect everybody's beliefs. I don't bother with y'all because I know y'all belief is separation when you're not in that relation. So I respect y'all and I don't bother y'all. I don't bother a lot of my siblings. There's only like 2 siblings I speak with. And that's my 2 baby sisters. I have an older sister. I don't bother with her. Because to me, she's a puppet for my mama. So I don't really bother with her like that. But my baby sister and my other second oldest sister, my third oldest sister, those are the 2 I speak to. My nurturer sister and then my baby sister. That's it. I don't speak to none of my brothers. And I have a whole brother who my mom and dad, my biological mom and dad, he's 3 years younger than me. We don't have a relationship. And it's because of that religion. I know it's because of that. And that's okay, because I have a half brother on my father's side that I found during the pandemic, and I have that side of my family because I desired connection, because my father died when I was 3, so I wanted connection, and God sent them to me. And I have when I tell you I have the greatest relationship with my brother Michael. He's older than me. He's 55. And when I tell you, that man, phew, he shows me a love that I've never had from a brother before. You know what I'm saying? A true protector who just, you know, everybody who speaks to me tells me, your brother really loves and admires you. They said, you are something to him. And I understand why, because my brother Michael, he doesn't have, our dad is deceased and his mom is deceased, and all his other siblings, his half siblings, they have each other because they're siblings. He was the only one that had a different father, and he knew he had siblings, but didn't have like a relationship with them. Now, my one other half brother who lives out there, we can't find him. He's in Chicago somewhere. We've been looking for him. And I'm in hopes that I'll meet him. But, yeah, his connection to me, when I tell you, that man, I love him. I love my big brother. But, yeah. But anyway, let me get back on this. But your relationship with your mother, I understand that a lot of times these are our parents. If you can't have a healthy relationship with your mother and disconnection is necessary, then it's necessary. I don't believe in
being connected to people because they are blood. I just don't believe that. You know, we got to get out of these situations to where we are staying in toxic relationships, even with family members. We have to. And you have to remember, a lot of sometimes of your triggers or the things that you do, sometimes a lot of it goes back to your childhood. So when you heal that and recognize, this is why I do these things, this is why I'm like this. That's why I was a people pleaser, because of my mama. I always wanted to do the right things by her. I wanted to please her. I got out of that shit. I say no a lot fucking more to people. I don't give a goddamn who don't like it. I don't give a shit. I'm not people pleasing anymore. And I don't keep friends or relationships with people that just don't need to be had anymore. The key to your healing is your childhood trauma. Once you really, really go and heal that and understand the connection, that's where you'll be able to be like, okay, now I get it. That's what helped me to heal and understand why I did the things I did. But also, you know what? Looking into my zodiac chart and looking at a lot of the traits that I had, it made complete sense. I'm like, makes sense to me. But yeah, because I'm all about understanding our behaviors, our traits. Those things, those scientific things are for a reason. But yeah, heal those past traumas so you can free yourself. Once I did all of that and I understood that, oh my God, my life was totally different then. And even changing my mindset, all of that. Oh my God, I was like, child, practicing my no's, saying no. Another tip I'm gonna give y'all too, something y'all should be listening to. Tony Jones has an affirmations album, which is called Affirmations for the Grown Ass Women. If you ain't listening to that, a part of your routine, start using it. Start listening to it. You can get it on all different things. Like I have it on my iTunes. I listen to that a lot. Yep, that's a good, she has 2 albums. But that Affirmations for the Grown Ass Woman, I still listen to that. Healing in My Heels. I love her. And learning to say no. Say no a lot more. And don't you dare feel sorry. And start blocking folks. Because people like to come around when they need shit from you. And then when you need them, they ain't nowhere to be fucking found. I don't give the people that, have a habit of just coming and trying to utilize, because people like to try to utilize you a lot, so you got to get out of that. But anyway, I'm going to get off here because I need to go to this gym. I got to get myself into a regular routine of working out. I know my arm isn't up to 100 yet. I quit my part-time job, y'all, because I hurt my arm and they weren't willing to put me in an area where it's less heavy stuff to what's name. So I'm like, I'm just going out on faith. I believe in God, so God gonna take care of things as long as I do what I'm doing and taking action. And that's what I'm gonna do. So listen, today is Self-Care Sunday. I want you to do something that, rejuvenate your soul. This is the beginning of the new week. And I want you guys to get yourselves ready for tomorrow. Relax your soul. Do something that restores and renews you. Listen, I love y'all, and I want you guys to have a most wonderful day. Please know that you are loved. You are adored in every way. I do. I really love y'all. And I think y'all are amazing. You know what? You are enough. Please know that you are enough. And you do enough. And you have enough. And I want you to look at where you're at right now. And just look at you right now and look at where you came from. You are better than you were. Keep doing, no matter how small it is, all the things necessary to help you in your journey. And I want you to know that you are divinely protected in every way. And you are valued. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm grateful to have you a part of my soul tribe. Y'all have a wonderful Sunday, soul tribe. I love you. Take care. Later.